Hi, lovely. I'm Sarah from sarahjensen.com.au, and I am so happy to be here with you today to guide you through tapping on boundaries. So, I know for me and a lot of the people that I work with, boundaries are this kind of magical unicorn. They're great in theory, but we have a lot of trouble either choosing them or putting them into place and maintaining them. We can get in our own way with boundaries, we can make it complicated, or we can get caught up in things like guilt and discomfort around saying no. We can feel like, oh my goodness, but if I have boundaries, then what if I'm not available all the time? Or in business, if I have boundaries, what if I miss out on a sale or a client? Or, we can get really stuck in some of that energy. But I want to reassure you and remind you that having boundaries is such an incredible thing. It sets the tone for how people treat you, it sets the tone for how you do things, and it allows you to look after yourself. And there's that saying, and I know it's super overused, but it's so true, that you can't give from an empty cup. It's really about filling up our own cup first and giving from that full cup. And boundaries are something that can absolutely help us do that. And what I mean by boundaries are things like, how often are you available on social media? How quickly do you reply to emails? What do you say yes to? What do you say no to? What do you donate your time to? Whether that's in your business or at your kids' school or helping out family or friends. Having those boundaries can be really, really supportive and really important for maintaining our sense of health and well-being so that we don't get stuck in feelings like resent or feeling drained because we feel like we're overgiving, or we feel like a total doormat and then we feel frustrated. So having boundaries can be really, really important. So I want to guide you through tapping today on boundaries. And before we get started, I want to ask you to step into your personal power and take full personal responsibility for your own well-being. So we're going to start with the karate chop point, and I'm going to guide you through. I really want some strong boundaries. But sometimes I don't know where to start. And boundaries seem really great in theory, but I can find it really hard to put them into practice. Or maybe I set my boundaries, but I can't maintain them. And it can make me feel really frustrated sometimes, because I feel like I'm not honoring myself. I feel like I'm overgiving. And sometimes I feel guilty saying no. So I say yes. Even though I'm tired, even though I don't have time, I say yes. And it can mean that I end up feeling really resentful. And I feel frustrated when I don't have time for myself. And even though it can feel uncomfortable, I'm opening myself up to having great boundaries now. And I'm starting to find it really, really easy to choose my boundaries, to implement my boundaries, to communicate my boundaries, and to maintain my boundaries. Because I love and honor myself. I love and respect myself. And it's absolutely safe for me to have boundaries. I'm allowed to say yes when I choose. I'm allowed to confidently say no when I choose. And I'm allowed to change my mind. And so I'm now finding it really easy to connect with the boundaries that I'd like to have, the boundaries that will best serve and support me, and to try those boundaries on for size. Because here's the thing, my boundaries don't have to be perfect. I don't have to get them right the first time I try them. It's okay to experiment with my boundaries, to try them on for size, to keep the ones that work for me, and to let go of the ones that don't. So I'm choosing from this moment forward to set boundaries that serve and support me. And I'm finding it easier and easier each day. I hope that's helpful.